Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of One Piece Odyssey. And if you couldn't already tell from the first 5 seconds, something is different. What may be a permanent change is I may start doing voiceovers, because when I made the recording for this video, I realized something while editing. This video actually reads. So instead of deleting it and scrapping the entire episode like I always do, I instead decided that I'm going to take a different approach and do voiceovers. And I'm probably going to continue to do voiceovers, maybe, because I'm just able to edit what I'm saying and I'm not constantly zoning out like I do when I play the game. And also, I kind of want to make sure that talking about One Piece is the main focal point of these episodes. I don't want you to think that I'm playing One Piece Odyssey. I did not buy this game to play it. I knew this game was gonna suck, and I always stress that when I play the game. But then I just get so sucked into it, and me being somebody who can't focus on 2 things at once most of the time, I can't what's the word? Entertain you as the viewer talking about One Piece. And also, one thing I realized is when I talk about these rants, quote unquote, the problem is I don't actually rant. I just reiterate what happened in the chapter. And I don't call that a rant. I call that a fucking recap. Wait, are we past the minute? Okay, good, we are. But enough boring you with all that intro talk. Let's actually talk about the chapter now. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Now, we actually have 2 chapters to cover, because in this video I covered chapter 1084. But as you can see, I never posted. Wait! Spoilers! There is spoilers coming up. Literally, the titles of these chapters are literal spoilers. So I can't go on without you knowing that it is a spoiler coming up in the next 5 seconds. So we have to cover 1084 and 1085, which, like I said, we got a lot to cover. Now, even though I just spoiled the titles, I do want to say spoilers. Like I said, every single time I start these episodes, I want to reiterate that this is spoilers. This is not spoiler free. I personally, spoiler free of anything sounds stupid as hell. How the hell are you going to make something spoiler free? Come on. Spoilers. There's fucking spoilers. Now, aside from the Bonnie and Sabo makeout sesh, not a lot really happened this chapter, you know? I mean, I guess aside from all that exposition we had to read. Blah, 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 blah. Mini Gorilla D. What that mean? Okay, I'm lying. There actually was a couple more things that happened. Like when Don Sai and the Tontada dude smashed Charlo's head in, and he was looking like that one chick from Hunter x Hunter. And you got Emu during all this exposition. He's just like, man, I'm tired of all this talking, bruh. He walk up them steps and sit right on that fucking seat. Hey, I don't know. That sounds pretty. That's pretty gangster to me. That's pretty baller as fuck. Now, all in all, I really did like this chapter. As much as I love to rag on exposition builds the world, and I am a sucker for world building in One Piece. And the fact that Emu sat there and Cobra was like, what the fuck, really shows that nobody knows of Emu's existence and who he is. Or they are, because we don't know if it's a he or she. Also, one thing I would like to point out before we go on to the next chapter, it's funny how we're supposed to be in Sabo's flashback, but we're sitting here watching the entirety of a exposition go down between Cobra and the 5 elders, or the Gorosei, as people like to say. It's just funny to me because even though we know in chapter 1085 that Sabo was in the room at one point, I don't think he was in the room during this entire speech. So it's just funny to look at. And also the part where, they smashed Charlo's head in. I don't think Sabo was there for that. Now let's get on to the next chapter, which surprisingly my friend Sean says he hated. Now let me give y'all a story about this chapter. You see, I'd say 3 days or 2 days before it dropped, the spoilers, as always, they come out first, which is basically somebody giving you a guesstimate of what they see in the scans, or, if they understand the language, they tell you what they think is going on, more or less. And so, Sean proceeds to tell me that he thinks they're poo. So, for the first time, literally the first time ever, first time ever, I decided to read the scans, the raw scans, no English coverage, nothing. We was deep in them scans, and you couldn't really tell what was going on, but from the chapter, if you read the chapter, you would know that Sabo gets into it with the Gorosei, and he thought he was gonna take them all out in one hit, but unfortunately he had to run. So in the midst of running, Emu, who was also chasing him, hit him with one of his emu arrows and knocked his ass down. And so, after getting his ass knocked down, they're about to, like, you know, Cobra's about to die, Sabo's about to get, you know, packed, and then Wapo goes, King Cobra! And so everybody looks towards the wall that Wapo was looking through. Now, keep in mind, we're reading the scan, so we don't know exactly what's happening at this very moment. We're just making a guesstimate. And so Sean tries to convince me that somehow Wapo saved both Vivi and Sabo. Bro, I couldn't believe what I was listening to. And especially after I read the chapter, and that's not what happened at all. By the way, go to chapter. But that's not even what happened. So it was just like, bro, it was just so stupid to, like, listen to this man. Somebody who read the spoilers, not even understand what's fully happening. Like, and it was so, what makes it even more stupid, what he was saying, was that he feels that Future Sight should just be this ability that everybody post-time skip has. So, Vivi, in between 1084 and 1085, gets captured by Rob Lucci and left with the CPG League. And after Walpole, like, notices that he just seen one of the craziest things ever. He's seen Emu, the 5 Gorosei, in their mythical Zoan forms, peak by the way, and he now realizes that he is going to die if they catch light of this, that he was the one who seen that. So, running away, he runs past the room, or eats through into the room that Vivi's in, and Vivi grabs onto him. So, I feel Sean thought it was stupid that none of the CPG League members had foresight, future sight, which, by the way, like I said, only a handful of characters we have seen able to utilize this fucking ability. And each and every single one of these characters have to actually be focusing to actually use it. So why do you think these CPG League characters are just going to be like, oh, Future Sight? No, that's not how Future Sight works. This is something you have to train and hone and constantly, like, reinforce. I'm just saying, to think that they would have that just on command, like, just to be on the ready, no. Also, for some reason, like, I guess he assumed Sabo got away. I didn't mention this. He assumed Sabo got away just because you didn't see him on the panel. Even though, like, Wapo was literally behind a wall and looking through a fucking peephole. I'm sorry. Unless these motherfuckers are blind as a bat and that Wapo thing distracted them that bad, I don't believe they would just notice, like, not notice Sabo, I mean just getting away. Also, one last thing before I finish talking about Sean. He likes to point out the fact that Luffy has not been in the manga for at least 2 months. And it's like he doesn't understand that we are currently, like, jumping around different people's stories. And right now we're in a fucking 3-chapter flashback. Like, and this is a weekly fucking manga. Like, this is not like, it's not like we're fucking watching the anime. We're binge watching the anime, and for the past month of One Piece or whatever, we're just like, we're not seeing Luffy. It's only been like 2 months or 5 chapters. It's not that big a deal. But once again, this chapter was goated. I absolutely love this chapter. It tied in the last chapter, and to be honest, it was I gotta burp. It fortified my fact of me wanting to say that, oh, I didn't want to talk about, like, the entire flashback until the entire flashback happened. And next time a flashback does happen, I may just hold it off for a few One Piece Odyssey episodes. And yeah, I just wanted to be able to talk about all of it, because it's like, if you're just talking about pieces of a flashback, it makes no sense. It's different from, like, actual chapters where, you know, we're in the present, we're in the now, and we're constantly left on a cliffhanger. Speaking of cliffhangers, somebody mentioned how, like, the silhouette in the that I think it was, what's the one with the helmet, whatever the ones with the helmet's name is, that the Vegapunk with the helmet, he saw a silhouette figure, and it reminded the person who saw it of one of the Gorosei. Hey, that's a pretty crazy thing to think about. But all in all, man, like I said, really beautiful chapter. It was fire looking at all of them taking out guns to off Cobra. Like, I knew Cobra knew, like, as soon as he saw Emu, it was up. I'm glad they talked more about, you know, Lily, the Will of D, all of that, man. And all that to say, man, really great chapter. And this is probably where I end the video. that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. Hey, if you watch these videos, let me know if you like this voiceover version of me talking. I may do more of it, and it will actually enable me to, like, meme out my fucking videos more, make little quips and stuff, like all that. But other than that, man, nothing else to say. Thank you so much for watching. This is definitely a good, bro. We are in the golden era of One Piece right now. Like, bro, Wano was like, I couldn't say Wano was a drought. Wano was good, but bro, we have been needing more outside of Luffy. Like, Luffy not being in the show for 2 months truly shows that, like, bro, we are in for a treat. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.